What's up, guys? Welcome back to Supercar Street Racing. I am so happy to have you guys here today. It is Football Sunday. I can't even say the word because I'll get sued into oblivion by the National Dumb League. And so if I say it, we can't make this video, but today we got something special for you right here. It is an upgrade for the bedroom surround sound system, and this is gonna take things to one more level that we need. Let's get into this today. Let's get this thing opened up. We are back on Supercar Street Racing today, and we welcome you guys, and I have something in my right hand that might be a clue to what we're doing today. But first of all, I want to thank you guys for 60,000 almost subscribers as of this morning. It's an awesome achievement. I am trying to get my video views up, and people are really starting to watch some of the older videos, which I really do appreciate. I just want you to keep in mind that back then the production quality wasn't as good as it is now. We try to make our videos very, very much better now, and also to put more emphasis on quality content and less about length of video. The old videos would just run and run forever, but now I am really trying to make the content more quality based and less about length. And today we are walking into the Supercar Street Racing awesome office, and I've got something in my hand here that might give you a clue about what we're doing today. And then also there's something laying right here on this bed that might give you another hint about what we got going on at Supercar Street Racing today. But before we get started, I just want to remind you guys to please like and subscribe. Every like and subscribe helps the channel and the algorithms focus in on what you guys do enjoy watching. And I'm gonna take this package right here and I'm gonna lay it quietly right here on this box, and that box might give you a hint of what is to come today on the channel. Now right here on top of the box you do see a set of banana plugs. This is a 3-foot long banana plug, so it can't be going very far, right? And right here it does say on the box, magnetized, do not ship this by air. I don't know why that is the case, why you cannot ship this box with air freight, but it does say it clearly right there on the package, so I'm not gonna argue with that. And while this box sits so comfortably on the bed this morning, let's go ahead and get this thing opened up. All right, now that the box is open, you have a hint as to what is inside. And there's a lot of empty space in here and not a lot of padding, which I think is kind of ridiculous, but hey, it did come at one piece, so you can see right here, there's a clue. It is a Polk Signature Series item. Let's get this thing out of this box. We don't need this where we're going. Now before we get started on unboxing this, I just wanted to give you guys a good look at the side of the box. This is the ES35 Signature Elite center channel speaker from Polk Audio. You guys know it because we already have one in the home theater room. I bought one for the bedroom. I did notice that as I get older and my hearing gets worse, I do not enjoy the in-ceiling, very crappy old center channel that we have up there. So this is a addition to the bedroom sound because I do enjoy watching sound in the bed and watching movies. Let's go ahead and get this thing completely out of the box now and see what's inside. I'm assuming it is exactly like what we did have in the home theater room, which is the same exact model number and ordered from the same exact link. Let's get this thing opened up now on the channel. Got one owner's manual in here. I now have two of the same ones. Just go ahead and dump this out. The easiest way to open it, and I guess we don't need that either where we're going. And it is surrounded by some protective styrofoam condoms, and I was finally smarter than that. Do not eat these, even if you're hungry. And then it's also further protected by a nice little protective foam thing. And this is the Signature Series by Polk. This is the front grille. They are magnetized. This is a close-up look at the center channel. This is the ES35 Signature Series center channel from Polk Audio. And you can see right here 6 drivers on the outside for low frequency, mid-range, and one single tweeter right in the center for your high frequencies. It is very compact. It has great sound, great reviews, and on the back it just does have a connector for either speaker wire or banana plug. We are going to be using our Gear It. There'll be a link in the description for these. We have a short run, so we don't need anything long. So this is going to sit right on top of the Marantz Cinema 70S in the bedroom and look so fly and fresh. This thing does have 6 3-inch balanced dynamic reinforced polypropylene. That's the correct pronunciation, and it does have one high resolution tweeter. Now this tweeter is crossed over at 2.7 kilohertz. Everything 2.7 and below will go down to these 3-inch woofers. There are 6 of them. This does have an option for you to be able to wall mount it. So you do have that capability on the back. There is a bracket back here, and on the other side there is one of those plus brackets for you to be able to wall mount. Now these can also be used for left and right if you wish. If you mount them up and down in a vertical nature, these can be your left and right speakers mounted to the wall right next to your television, or they could probably sit on a bookshelf too. It looks like they would probably balance on the ground. Now this guy will handle anywhere from 20 to 150 watts, and its overall frequency response is 66 hertz to 40 kilohertz. So you will want a sub if you're using these for your left and right channels, obviously. Small woofers are not going to handle very low frequencies below the rated capability of this speaker. These are 89 dB sensitivity as well, if you're wondering how sensitive they are. And this has single gold plated 5-way binding posts. Now the dimensions on this are 4 high, so it's 4 that way, that's what they're calling height. They are 24 inches wide, so that would be 24 this way, so they are 2 feet like this if you're trying to figure out if they will fit somewhere. And they are 6.1 on the depth up here, 6.1 inches, due to this power port right here that is for the bass. This guy right here weighs in at 14 pounds. If you were wondering the weight, this is 14 pounds, pretty heavy. It shows that there's probably some good size magnets inside with some good quality. All right, let's get this ES35 into the forum, which is the bedroom in the back, and let's get this guy connected up. What do you guys think? But first, let's put this awesome magnetic grill directly on it. It does fall right into place. No issue whatsoever with that coming out. You can see it has little feet that go inside of holes, so when it sits, there's absolutely no way that this thing is going to come off at all. Let's get this thing into the bedroom. We are out here in the Supercar Street Racing Garage at the SCSR compound with a new sponsor today. NewTick is so generous to have sponsored the channel, and they provided us with this extension cord outlet cover that is pretty dang cool. There are a lot of cool uses for this. One example I would say would be your refrigerator. But this thing is great. All you have to do is just put it on top of a regular outlet cover and it will basically create an extension cord. I went ahead and plugged it in right here. Plugging it in is simple. There is no trick to it. It literally just slides right over an existing outlet just like that. And when it comes off, you can see it's just a single plug like that. And what that does create for you is a nice 3 extension cord with a nice power light as well. So this is great. It allows you to add power basically anywhere that you can't have something poking out. Just like that. That's how you install it. And notice right now, it does have a nice green light on, letting us know that it is powered up right there. Nudic, thank you so much for sponsoring Supercar Street Racing on the big game day that we can't say the name or we go directly to jail. Check out the description. We'll have a link to this. Go ahead and buy this product from the description and support Supercar Street Racing and Nudic for the generous sponsorship today. Enjoy the game. We're in the Supercar Street Racing bedroom and we're in front of the Cinema 70S, the 7.1 surround sound Marantz receiver. And when I did this install, you guys can watch it on the channel. I did go ahead and label everything nicely with my label maker. And so that makes it easy to go ahead and find the center channel. Center is right here. So we are going to be taking out this is really a 5 1/4 when you look at it. It is called a 6 1/2, but all these speakers, the inner ring is like way less than what it's rated on the size. You can see right there. So yeah, I'm gonna be going ahead and taking out the center channel right here, and we're gonna be plugging in our brand new Gear It banana plugs right to there and connect up this nice Polk Audio ES35 center channel speaker. These have good reviews on Amazon, so I went ahead and got them. Let's get these Gear Its out. Now here's a look at the Gear It. They are nice and braided. They cost a little bit more for higher quality. And you can see right here, they have nice sleeving on them. So all we have to do right here and right now is remove. There is no banana plug on the center channel. So I did just remove positive and negative. And this will just gracefully fall somewhere back here. We're not using it anymore. Here's a good look at the banana plugs that don't fit. Notice they don't go in all the way. They don't seat properly. Let's see if the Gear Its do seat properly. First, we're gonna close these terminals so that they don't rattle. Let's see if this is a proper. Now, the Gear It is marked right here. This one is positive, this one is negative. Let's go ahead and go for the negative first. And they did seat all the way, which is something I was curious about would happen. Yep, those go in all the way. As you guys can see, look at the ones next to them that don't seat right here. And then look at the Gear Its, they seat perfectly. Okay, we can go ahead and push our receiver back towards the wall now, very gently, so no wires get messed up or kinked up. The Gear Its are especially thick, like overly thick, so I think this is perfect. And we do have to worry about our Wi-Fi antenna. I'm gonna go ahead and rotate it down and to the side so it doesn't get smoked by the center channel. And we got our center channel speaker, and it does fit nicely under the TV as well. There's one thing you have to know about these Polk audio speakers. When you buy them, they do have caps over the banana plug section, so you have to pop those out, and it is not exactly easy. Okay, it did pop out, but it's not easy. They are in there. That one popped right out. Now you can see you can get the banana plug in there now, and we'll go ahead and move this without damaging the Marantz. Okay, this is the way the Polk ES35 looks on top of the Marantz. It sits nicely right on top of it and underneath the TV, and it can actually go back some more if we wanted it to, like that. Unassuming, just sits nicely there, and we are no longer using that junky old 6.5 or 5 1/4 or whatever it actually is. Now the next step is to go ahead and run the Odyssey setup again so that it can measure with the new center channel speaker. Let's go ahead and grab the Odyssey mic and get that going. Mic is already connected. Next, sub is plugged in. We're gonna go 6 measurements. We gotta put the microphone at ear height. So let's put it back here in the bed, right up here on the pillows. All right, that's fine. These LED lights are causing a hum. And when we hit next, it is going to start calibrating. Okay, I did go ahead and run the Odyssey setup for all of the positions that are in the bed. Sorry about the hum on the video. It's these LED lights that are interfering with this camera and I cannot figure out how to get it to stop. But anyway, I did go ahead and run Odyssey setup from the 2 positions there. This thing is ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and put a movie on now and check it out, but you guys can't listen to the audio because it will be copyrighted.
Things before you're coming. This world is beyond cruelty.
All right, guys, we successfully installed the Polk ES35 signature center channel speaker right here in the forum, the bedroom, the Supercar Street Racing bedroom, with the lights humming like crazy on the video. But hey, it sounds awesome. I went ahead and watched a little bit of Dune 2 with Dolby Atmos, and it sounds really good, just like in the home theater room over there. We accomplished our goal of putting this speaker in and getting a little sample. We aligned it with Odyssey, so we put Odyssey on, or Odyssey, however you like to pronounce it. We did run Odyssey and go ahead and make sure that all the levels were correct, and then watched a little bit of Dolby Atmos, and it sounds pretty freaking cool. Now let's go ahead and go back over to the SCSR Studio B and take a look at this on Amazon and let you guys check it out and see if you like it. And it woke up for that. All right, we're back in Studio B in the Supercar Street Racing office. This is our second editing studio. We have the studio outside, and then we have Studio B right here in front of me. And we're gonna take a look at the Polk Signature Series, the ES35 center channel speaker on Amazon, so you guys can see how you can get your own. All right, guys, you can see right here we have Amazon up in front of us, and we have purchased this item a total of 2 times, and you can see the ES35 chilling right there on the screen at a 4.8 star review. Think about that high level review. I'll put a screenshot up right now of the 4.8 on the Polk Elite ES35 Slim center channel speaker. It has a 1-inch tweeter, 6 3-inch woofers and power ports, and it is in black, and they do make a white version as well. There's a good look at the actual speaker, which you did see in the bedroom, and there is a video here that we will play for you guys.
When it comes to experiencing the full impact of music and movies, deep, powerful bass is essential. To improve bass output, speaker enclosures often incorporate a port, which lets air flow freely in and out of the box. This puts the sound inside the cabinet to work, helping to deliver louder, clearer bass. When a lot of air flows quickly through the port, that airflow can abruptly change, causing chuffing sounds and other distortion. And when a port is noisy, the energy used to produce that noise is no longer producing the intended sound, bass. Polk's patented PowerPort technology solves these issues in a few ways. Our original PowerPort reduces air turbulence by guiding airflow into the listening space using flares and a diffuser. This promotes a more streamlined flow, which creates less port noise, letting the speaker deliver cleaner bass. The tube-shaped port can also behave like an organ pipe, creating resonances that can mask mid-range sounds. Export has a set of closed-pipe resonators called eigentone filters, which are tuned to absorb unwanted port and cabinet resonances. When the open end of these tubes is placed in the center of the port, the resonances of the port and the filters are in opposite polarity, so they cancel each other out. Because there's less port resonance, bass output is cleaner. Polk's PowerPort 2.0 combines our PowerPort technologies for the best of both worlds. PowerPort's carefully engineered port design reduces the flow of air as it exits the cabinet, and export eliminates cabinet and port resonances. Together, PowerPort technologies deliver cleaner, tighter bass and a more detailed mid-range. But no matter which version of PowerPort your Polk speaker has, you'll hear louder, cleaner bass that brings deeper thrills to your favorite music and movie.
And like I said, I gave you most of the specs already. This handles 150 watts. As it has really good bass, I agree it does pretty good considering only 3-inch woofers and the PowerPort. Looks really good also. Does have that Polk magnetic grill on the front as well. And in the theater room, I do have the full set with the tower speakers and the ES35. And I want to thank you guys once again for over 50,000 subscribers. We are at 55,730. We just passed 55,000, and we have been featured on a lot of different main channels. So I think that that has something to do with the fact that the subscriber count is going up. The video counts are going up, especially for the older videos as well. People are actually tuning in and checking out the older videos. Now there will be a link in the description to this Polk audio speaker. Make sure you go ahead and buy that or anything you want from Amazon by clicking through any of our product links. If you do that, it gives us a couple of dollars and helps keep the channel relevant and making content. But guys, that's going to do it from the Supercar Street Racing office. We're going to go ahead and call it a day because it is Football Sunday. We can't say the word or we get arrested and hauled out of here. So we're just going to call it Football Sunday. But again, buy from our affiliate links and go ahead and like and subscribe if you are not a returning watcher. And we will see you guys on the next one. We have to get out of here and go get breakfast and prep for the big game. Let's do this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Supercar Street Racing. And today we're going to talk a little bit about why I switched from Adobe Premiere Pro to DaVinci 18 and why you should do the same thing for your video editing. Welcome back to the channel, Supercar Street Racing, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today, and I'm glad to see you back on the channel. Go ahead and do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button, and let's help grow the channel so that we can enjoy looking at some of our favorite things here. And today we are talking about why I switched from Adobe Premiere Pro to DaVinci Resolve 18, which you see running right here, and actually rendering our video for the Amazon Fire TV experience on the Amazon Echo Show. So backing up a little bit, I started using Premiere Pro several years ago, probably about, I don't know, it must have been at least 10 years ago. I've used it since the very beginning. However, most recently when I started growing the channel, I was able to get a much better editing system. As you see here, I have an RTX 3080 TUF, and I was finally able to do some good editing on this channel and try to bring the channel up to a standard that will get more views and actually generate some interest. To make a long story short, I have a brand new computer here with a 12-core AMD processor. I've got the RTX TUF 3080, and I've got 2 monitors here that aren't even 4K. That will be the next upgrade to the channel. Some 4K monitors that I can edit on. For right now, these only do 1080p. But you can see back here in the background, DaVinci Resolve running amazing, doing our rendering for our new video for the Fire TV on the Echo Show. So what's the first reason I switched over? So honestly, I had a lot of issues, first related to my old computer system because I was running an older video card and I had not made the investment yet to a nice modern RTX series graphics card. So I was having a lot of issues with that, renders crashing and things like that. I did eventually figure out that I needed a new video card, of course, because I was also taking hours to render my videos and I needed to speed up that render time and try to figure out what all those bugs were for. Ended up buying this whole editing rig. I've got the RTX 3080 as I talked about before, and I attempted to use Premiere Pro. Now, one thing I noticed immediately about Premiere Pro was that even with the RTX 3080 and using the H.265 codecs for NVIDIA, it would still be a really long time to edit a video. As you can see in the background right here, we just edited our Fire TV video in DaVinci Resolve 18. We did render that in 4K, and it took it about 13 minutes and 20 seconds to render a 4K video, 4K 60 frames per second in DaVinci Resolve, and the video is actually over 17 minutes long. So it's actually rendering it, you know, less than a minute per minute of video. This same video in Adobe Premiere probably would have taken a little over an hour to render, even with the RTX 3080. And one thing I would also notice with Adobe Premiere Pro is that when I had the Task Manager open, it would be using way more CPU than GPU power, which doesn't really make sense. Now, some things don't use GPU to render, but a lot of things do. And so now I notice with the DaVinci Resolve software, almost everything uses the GPU if you look at the Task Manager or you look at GPU-Z. So talking about the ability to learn in DaVinci Resolve, if you're used to Premiere Pro, you're thinking about making that jump over to DaVinci Resolve. I'll tell you from experience that I learned pretty quickly on DaVinci Resolve how to do the basic things to get a video up and going. It is a little bit different from Adobe Premiere Pro in that you have tabs for your different things in editing. You have a colors tab here at the front. Here, that's the colors. Then you have your effects, your edit, and they actually have different names here. You have your, what is this called? Fusion tab. You have your color. This actual first one is called media, not color. You have media, you have cut, where you add transitions and effects and everything. You have your edit, where you have your actual timeline. And then you have your color tab, your fusion tab, your Fairlight tab, and your deliver tab. So deliver, basically, if we go over to that tab, is where you do all your exporting, which would be like Adobe Media Encoder, except it is way more intuitive and way easier to use. Fairlight is where you do all your audio work in DaVinci Resolve, and you can add all your audio effects. Color is where you actually work with the color. Pretty self-explanatory there. Fusion I have not used, so I'm not sure about what this is for. I will have to do some research on that and get back to you, but so far I have not had to use Fusion for anything. Of course, you got your timeline here, which is, if you're familiar with Adobe Premiere Pro, the timeline here on DaVinci Resolve is similar to Adobe Premiere Pro, but a lot of your shortcuts and everything are going to be different. The one thing I haven't figured out in DaVinci Resolve is how to free transform an object. Let's say you're going to layer an object on top of another one. In Adobe Premiere, if you double click that object on the timeline, you can actually drag it with the mouse to move it around the screen and place it. I have not figured out if there's a way to do that yet on DaVinci Resolve. I'm still working on that. There's also a couple of other differences that I haven't figured out, like cutting and pasting transitions is not available as it is on Adobe Premiere Pro, but you do have the copy and paste attributes, which I use frequently to copy things like audio volume, audio effects, and placement of objects on the screen. That is all done here in the timeline. You just have to get used to a little bit of a difference in using selecting things to work with them. They're all up here in the right-hand corner under the inspector. You can, let's say you added an effect on the screen next to this in the cut screen, then you would click the actual clip and go up to effects in the inspector where you can actually adjust all the different attributes on that effect, or you can do video transforms up there, audio, you can actually adjust the audio levels and audio attributes in the clip from the audio tab up here, things like volume, pan, pitch, things like that. And then your transition, you can actually adjust the transition up here in the transition of the inspector. And then over here on the right side, which you may or may not see in the frame, we have our clip bin here that shows all our clips. We have all of our edit timeline. We have our audio mixer over here as well, and our toolbox and clip details and metadata. So far, so good. Also, let's go over to the cut scene. The cut area shows your clips more like blobs on the timeline, and you are actually able to add transitions, titles, and effects. I do not use titles inside of DaVinci Resolve because I use a 3D font generator online. That's really good. But here you can add effects both to your, you can add video effects, you can add audio effects, which you can also do over in Fairlight. Like I said, you can add titles, which is actually adding fonts to your videos. And you have your media pool here, which shows you all the videos that you imported in for this project. So yeah, I'm just gonna go into the conclusion that DaVinci Resolve is way better than Adobe Premiere Pro. Not only because there's a fixed price for it, Adobe Premiere Pro charges you for a subscription, but the ease of use, the stability has been on point. I've only ever had one crash while while rendering, and that actually happened during the video that I was editing here, and all I did was close out DaVinci Resolve and reopen it, and it got through the rendering process. I had a lot of issues with Premiere Pro not being able to get through rendering processes, and it would fail for no reason. Also, Premiere Pro did have a bug to this day they have not resolved on some video cards, and that is the software will start using video, or it's not video memory, but memory, actual memory, and it will eat up and eat up and eat up video memory until the computer crashes because there's actually no memory left to run the operating system. I have 64 gigabytes of RAM on this computer. It is awesome for editing, but on Premiere Pro, it would use all 64 gigabytes of RAM and then just crash. I've not had any issues like that with DaVinci Resolve 18. So guys, I hope that you can use DaVinci Resolve 18 too. If you have any questions about it, how to use it, or want to see specific videos about DaVinci Resolve 18, throw it down in the comments section. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video at Supercar Street Racing.
Are you guys ready to go beyond today? Because today we have the HP Envy, and it is from Best Buy. It has the Ryzen 7 processor and 16 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD. Let's get this thing opened up and see what's inside. Now we're right in front of the HP Envy and also in front of the iMac that we did purchase from a thrift store. You can go ahead and check out that video later. But right now I've got this backwards actually because it does open up from this side. But if we go around the side here, we can look at the model number, and it is a HP Envy X360 2-in-1 laptop. This thing does have the Ryzen 7 processor on it, and it does have a terabyte SSD in it and 16 gigs of RAM. Now, one of the things we're going to be doing today is actually we're going to edit this entire episode on this laptop. This is not an editing machine by any means. It doesn't have a super fast video card. This is a super fast processor, but not a fast video card. But we're going to set this up for Rich and Trish live. While we do that, we're going to be recording that, and then we're also going to get this thing going for them, as far as we're going to take all the bloatware off and install all the necessary antivirus and other software that. Yeah, so this is your life as a content creator on YouTube. You wake up and you have 18,000 copyright notices for using music.
And that's what we're talking about. Now, the team and head coach Doug Edwards, along with 3 other coaches, join us in studio today. So good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So first, tell us about your incredible season.
Yeah, the boys have played hard all season long. We've played approximately 45 games, won about 38 of them. They played well all season, won state championships, won the Southeast region, and we're excited to go to the World Series now.
Oh, so exciting. Have to ask, how long have you played baseball?
Well, a lot of these kids have been playing since they're 5 as a team, and started during the COVID season, and here we are now as 8-year-olds ready to take on the rest of the country. So.
Oh my goodness. So how does it feel to just compete in the World Series in Ocala? That's huge.
Yeah, it's exciting. The boys have worked hard for it, and they deserve everything they get. So we're excited to go down there and show that we can compete with people outside of just the Southeast region and compete against the rest of the country.
Just have to ask, after the win, yes, are you going to Disney World?
I don't know about Disney World, but we'll definitely find something to do to celebrate and reward the boys for sure.
Oh, yeah. We have to ask, what is next for after the season?
There's no rest for the weary. There's about a 2-week break, and then we'll start back up with recreational baseball at Fort Caroline. So.
All right, that sounds good. Now, I know everybody at home, you can't see it, but behind our cameras, oh, well, there you go. We see lots of parents. We see families. Everyone is here supporting. Coach, how important is it to have this support from the families? It means so much.
It's critical. We couldn't have done it without the families' support and just their, it's a year-round thing here in Florida, honestly. There's no breaks. They've given up opportunities for family vacations and just family time to support their kids. And, thankfully the kids have rewarded them as well by giving them opportunities to travel to faraway places like Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, and now Ocala, Florida. So.
And that is incredible. We know you guys have created some pretty special memories together on the road. What is something that you feel was one of the best memories yet that you guys have experienced together as a family?
Well, the win in Tennessee this past week was pretty special. That was something we hadn't had the opportunity to do yet up until now. And as 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds, you don't get the opportunity to go more than like the state level. So being able to win the Southeast region, just the opportunity now to say that we can go to the World Series and be World Series champs is something that we haven't had the opportunity to do before. And so we're appreciative for that.
We have about a minute left. So how cool is it to see these guys just evolve from the players they started into the players they are today? How cool is that to see as a coach?
Yeah, it makes it all worthwhile. I've got a great coaching staff alongside me, and we put in a lot of effort with the kids. It's phenomenal watching them put in the effort every week. It's not just us; they have to put the work in, and they do it on a week in, week out basis. And watching them grow into not just great ball players, but great people as well. I know it's hard to say as little 8-year-olds, but they are growing. Their characters are growing, and that's the other part of it. It's not just all baseball; it's about growing young men as well. So it's great to watch.
It says a lot about their discipline, and I'm sure they're inspiring so many of little kids that look just like them at home right now watching them. It's so incredible with what you guys have going on.
Hey, guys, can you do us a real thing, though? Just wave to the cameras, wave to our city, wave to our viewers. Thanks for being here, guys, and good luck.
Oh! Yes! This is you if you break in! Yes!
All right.
We just stopped by the candy store to get some candy, and we got this big candy right here, and it's, I'm not going to say the brand. Let's go.
The film starts on Pandora, with Jake Sully, Sam Worthington, recapping his life since joining the Na'vi as chief of the Omaticaya clan. He and Neytiri, Zoe Saldana, have become parents to Netiyam, Jamie Flattis, Loak, Britton Dalton, and Tuck, Trinity Jo Lee Bliss, along with another adopted daughter, Kiri, Sigourney Weaver, who is the biological daughter of Grace Augustine's Na'vi avatar. The kids also spend time with a human boy, Spider, Jack Champion, who was left behind with the human scientists after the previous group evacuated Pandora since babies couldn't be put into cryostasis. While the children see Spider as something of a cousin, Neytiri feels the boy would be better off with other humans, in part due to her own hatred of the Sky People. While everything seems blissful, Jake's happiness is quickly shattered when shuttles of RDA ships begin to descend upon Pandora, destroying huge parts of the forest and killing the wildlife. Jake and Neytiri get their children and the other Na'vi to safety, but Jake holds his wife as they watch in horror at the devastation left behind. 1 year later, Colonel Miles Quaritch, Stephen Lang, wakes up resurrected in his own avatar body. While he attacks his former teammates, all now in their own Na'vi skins, Quaritch soon realizes what happened after watching a video log he left himself before their previous attempted mission to tear down the Naivi's Tree of Souls before he and his team were all killed. After gathering their new weaponry, Quaritch decides to lead a team back onto Pandora with one goal in mind: killing Jake. The RDA has colonized Pandora and built a mining base, along with a settlement called Bridgehead City. Jake leads several Na'vi to fly their Ikran to attack the humans' aircraft and supply lines. Netiyam and Loak attempt to join the fight, nearly getting severely injured in the process. Jake gets them to safety but chastises them for putting themselves in the line of fire. The group returns to their camp with the rest of the clan. Jake discusses with Neytiri how these changes are impacting their children's lives. Meanwhile, Spider joins Loak and Kiri as they go to the humans' research facility where Norm Spellman, Joel David Moore, and Max Patel, Dilip Rao, continue to work. Kiri talks to Grace's avatar as her body lies in the tank. Spider then notes that his Na'vi friends at least know their parents, while he knows and resents who his father was, Quaritch. Quaritch and his team arrive at their base and meet General Francis Ardmore, E.D. Falco, who updates him on their operations since his time being dead. Ardmore informs them of the advantages the Omaticaya have on them before telling them how they can gain their own upper hand. The team enters the forest at the exact same time that Jake's kids and Spider are playing there. While Kiri immerses herself in the nature, the other kids spot Quaritch and his team as they survey the former link unit for the humans and their avatars. He finds his skeleton inside the AMP suit where he was killed. The villains find the kids, and they realize they are Jake's kids because they have 5 fingers. Quaritch meets Spider and realizes he is the boy's father. Quaritch calls in Ardmore and her squad to come down while he takes the other kids as hostages. Jake and Neytiri are alerted to the scene, and both are stunned to see their nemesis alive and in a Na'vi body. Neytiri kills some of Quaritch's team before they open fire. She and Jake manage to get their kids back, but Quaritch and his surviving teammates fall back, taking Spider with them. Ardmore subjects the boy to a torture method to get him to disclose information on the clan's location, but Quaritch stops her and opts to try and get closer to Spider to earn his trust. He convinces Spider to ride along with him on their mission, or else the scientists will experiment on him. Jake talks to Neytiri about having to leave the clan now that they are being targeted. While Neytiri doesn't want to leave her home, Jake assures her that it is best for their children and the rest of the clan. He passes on leadership to another warrior, Tarsum, Keston John, and he leaves the clan with Neytiri and their children. They fly their Ikran and head toward the eastern seaboard to the home of the Metkayina clan of Na'vi. The clan gathers with their leader, Tonawari, Cliff Curtis, and his pregnant wife, Ronal, Kate Winslet. Jake requests shelter for the sake of his family, though Ronal and other tribesmen are quick to look down on Jake and his kids for their half-human heritage, as well as the potential of bringing their dangers to this land. However, Tonawari respects the accomplishment of the Torik Makto and allows them to stay, and also instructs his children Ernung, Philip Gelio, and Sireya, Bailey Base, to show Jake's children how to adapt to their oceanic surroundings. Quaritch and his team take Spider through the forest, with Spider becoming their translator for the Na'vi language that the team is still trying to learn. Quaritch also manages to link himself to his own Ikran, albeit more forcefully than the Omaticaya did. Jake's kids join Ernung and Sireya, plus Ernung's friend Rotexo, Dwayne Evans Jr., as they explore the reef. Sireya shows that they communicate with the underwater creatures via sign language, and they link to them the same way the Omaticaya link to their animals. However, when Loak attempts to connect to a creature, he is pulled quickly through the water and is thrown off. Meanwhile, Kiri has a more natural connection to the creatures and helps one of them interact with Tuck. Jake and Neytiri are shown how to fly the Surak, which can move in the air as well as underwater. Loak gets closer to Sireya, who shows him how to better his breathing underwater. He also takes him and his sisters deeper underwater by using creatures that provide air when resting on their backs. However, Ernung and Rotexo are antagonistic toward Kiri for her being considered a half-breed, leading to Loak punching Ernung in the face. Netiyam joins in the fight along with Ernung's friends, leading to Jake scolding his sons for their behavior. Jake forces Loak to apologize to Ernung. He does so, and Ernung invites Loak to hunt with him and his friends. They go far enough until they trick Loak into going after a creature, just before he and his creature are attacked by an akula that kills Loak's mount before chasing after him. Loak attempts to swim back up before he runs out of breath, but the akula attempts to go for the kill until Loak is saved by a whale-like creature called a Tolkien, named Payakin. Loak follows Payakin and finds a harpoon stuck in his fin, so he removes it and earns Payakin's trust. Jake speaks to Kiri, who has been feeling different lately due to what she has been seeing. She claims she can feel the heartbeat of the goddess Awa, and that it is mighty. Jake assures her that there is nothing wrong with her. Everyone then sees Loak return, and Tonawari scolds Ernung for leading Loak beyond the reef when it is forbidden, but Loak takes the blame for everything to spare Ernung from getting in trouble. Jake tells Loak that he has shamed the family with his actions, but Ernung comes to respect Loak. Loak tells his siblings, plus Sireya and the other Metkayina, about his encounter with Payakin, but Sireya informs Loak that Pakayan is considered an outcast among the other Tolkien. After Loak attempts to communicate with Payakin to learn more about his history, Sireya takes the others toward the cove of their ancestors, showing them how the land looks during the eclipse. She also guides them underwater to the Metkayina Tree of Souls. When Kiri connects herself to the tree, she is able to see and communicate with Grace. However, Kiri soon suffers a terrible seizure, and her siblings bring her back to the shore. Jake gets Norm and Max to try and help Kiri, but they are of no help until Ronal tries her hand and is able to revive Kiri. Norm tells Jake that any visions she thinks she is seeing might be a result of frontal lobe epilepsy. Unfortunately, Quaritch's teammate Lyle Wainfleet, Matt Gerald, informs him of a radar picked up off the gunship that Norm and Max came in on. The villains then meet up with a whaling vessel operated by Captain Mick Scoresby, Brendan Cowell, and Dr. Ian Garvin, Jermaine Clement, to give them more of an advantage, since they are already hunting Tolkien for anti-aging remedies. The Metkayina bond with their Tolkien, including Ronal and her soul sister Roa. Soon, Quaritch and his team show up. They mercilessly kill a Tolkien and threaten a Metkayina woman unless they disclose the location of Jake and his family. Spider becomes horrified and tries to get his father to stop. The villains then begin to burn down their trees and homes. Quaritch orders his team to attack to draw Jake to them. Loak once again tries to ask Payakin what he did to make him an outcast. Payakin opens his mouth and allows Loak to enter him and link with him. Loak sees Payakin's memories and sees that he attacked the whalers because they killed his mother and family. Loak attempts to relay this new information to the Metkayina. but Jake tries to shut him up so that they do not risk further alienating the Metkayina. Loak talks to Sreya about this, and she believes in him. The whalers begin their attack, launching harpoons filled with inflatables and piercing the fins of the Tolkien, including Roa and her child. After collecting their material from her, Ronal and the other Metkayina arrive, and Ronal wails in agony at the loss of her soul sister and her child. Tonawari and Ronal, along with dozens of angry Metkayina, turn their ire toward Jake for leading the villains to their land as they knew would happen. When Jake points out that the Tolkien will be marked for death with the whalers' trackers, he tells the Metkayina to warn the Tolkien before more of them are killed. Loak heads off to warn Payakin, despite Netiyam's warnings against it. He follows his brother, along with Sreya and Ernung, and then Kiri and Tuk. They find Payakin, already hit with a tracker. Netiyam contacts Jake to alert him, and he and Neytiri head off to rescue their kids. The whalers initiate their attack, going after the kids and Tolkien. Jake and Neytiri are joined by Metkayina warriors in the fight. The kids are captured in the struggle and are held prisoner on the vessel. When Jake and company arrive, Quaritch orders him to stand down, holding Loak at gunpoint to show he's serious. Jake prepares to surrender himself until Payakin sees his soul brother in danger, so he leaps out of the water and slams down onto the vessel, taking some whalers down in the process. The Na'vi use this moment to charge into battle. With help from Payakin and the Metkayina, they are able to kill most of the whalers. Scoresby attempts to harpoon Payakin, but he manages to wrap the wire around their boat, killing the men and severing Scoresby's arm in the process. The kids escape, and Kiri uses her powers to manipulate the ocean environment to kill some whalers. Spider also turns on the other humans and rejoins his Na'vi family. In the midst of the battle, Netiyam rescues his siblings and their friends, but he is shot. The family gets to a rock where they attempt to help Netiyam, but he succumbs to his wounds. Neytiri wails in despair at the loss of her son, and the rest of the family is devastated. Quaritch contacts Jake, revealing he has Kiri and Tuk as his hostages. Jake heads into the sinking vessel for the final showdown, accompanied by Neytiri, Spider, and Loak. Neytiri ruthlessly slaughters Quaritch's team in retribution for Netiyam, just as Jake goes to face his nemesis. After Jake frees Tuk, Quaritch emerges with Kiri and a knife to her throat. Neytiri grabs Spider and threatens his life in return. Although Quaritch tries to deny his care and relationship with the boy, he relents and lets Kiri go after Neytiri cuts Spider across his chest. Neytiri brings the kids to safety, and Jake decides to end it with Quaritch, fighting to the death. The vessel starts to come down completely, trapping the family underwater. Jake fights Quaritch until he manages to get him in a chokehold and let him sink underwater. Loak finds his father, who tells him to go without him since Jake doesn't think he will make it, but Loak helps him breathe the way Sreya showed him, and they escape with Payakin. Meanwhile, Kiri summons the underwater creatures to help her get Neytiri and Tuk out of there. Spider swims to save Quaritch, but he abandons him for his evil deeds and rejoins Jake's family, with Jake officially taking him in as a son. Jake prepares to bid Tonawari farewell, but he tells Jake that he and his family are Metkayina now and are welcome to stay. The family then holds a funeral for Netiyam, where his body is given to the Tree of Souls, and they are told that he is now with Awa. Jake and Neytiri link themselves to the tree, where they are able to see Netiyam through memories. Jake, recognizing this land as his family's new home, vows to continue to fight and protect them. Years after Jake Sully joined the Na'vi as chief of the Omaticaya clan, he has built a life and family with Neytiri and their kids Netiyam, Loak, Tuk, and Kiri, who is actually the biological daughter of Grace Augustine's Na'vi avatar, along with a human boy called Spider. The RDA returned to disrupt their tranquil existence by colonizing Pandora and forcing the Na'vi to relocate, with Jake leading warriors to fight them and wreck their supply lines. This forces the RDA to awaken the avatars of the deceased mercenaries, led by the newly resurrected Colonel Miles Quaritch, who has his eyes set on revenge against Jake. After the villains threaten Jake's family and home, he takes them from the forest and moves them to the eastern seaboard of Pandora to the home of the Metkayina clan, who have a deep connection with the underwater life. Jake's children, Loak in particular, bond with Sreya and Ernung, the children of the Metkayina's chief Tonawari and his wife Ronal. While the Metkayina are initially distrusting of the Omaticaya, they teach them their ways and welcome them to their home. Kiri also discovers that she has a deeper power and connection with the creatures. Quaritch and his team work with whalers to hunt the Tolkien, creatures that the Metkayina have deep connections with. Loak bonds himself with Payakan, a Tolkien that is considered an outcast. When Quaritch and his team begin to lay waste to the Metkayina homeland, Jake and Neytiri are forced to fight back. The kids go to warn Payakan, leading to them getting captured. Payakan helps the Na'vi fight back, with many of the whalers getting killed, but Netiyam is fatally shot. Jake goes after Quaritch, who has taken Kiri and Tuck hostage. Neytiri kills the rest of Quaritch's team before threatening Spider's life to save Kiri, and Quaritch relents since he is the boy's father. Loak and Kiri help their family get to safety, while Spider saves Quaritch but abandons him for his cruelty. Jake and his family are accepted by the Metkayina and are allowed to stay. He and Neytiri are able to see Netiyam by connecting themselves to the Metkayina Tree of Souls.
You can almost zoom in on the moon with video. With picture, we can go all the way in. It looks so cool right now. I love it. Alien. Here we are, top golf. Top golf.
All right, go Dan.
The whole crew. Top golf.
You gotta go with the big one.
Right on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
You're going on YouTube.
What's up, YouTube?
I'm pretty sure, I mean, that's what it looks like. Get in there and take a look at it, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is.
Plugs can go up here. Nobody needs this or this. About all you need right there. These two sets that are perfect, they are exactly the same kind, and this is what I ran on my golf cart. Nice. Oh, it sucks. It's almost like right on an angle.
No, it's good. It's perfect. This will go up here. Actually, I want it to be the reverse. Yeah, that'll work. Probably take a little bit more off. So that one's ready to go. We got to start removing this dash. So the speakers will drop in there. That's good to go. We won't put those in until we're ready. Wires will go down underneath and back up. We got we got holes all through here that we could use.
4 speaker wires,
three technically for the back.
4 RCA cables.
They'll go into the front, right? Yeah, this is just for the back.
Oh, right. 2 to the back.
Yep, I mean, we can start pulling the steering wheel off.
Yeah, while you got my impact gun out, you might as well. All right, just a little update here. We went ahead and dry fit the tar amps amp right there. You can see we made some standoffs for it because it's not exactly on level ground there. So we made some standoffs out of drywall anchors. And now what we're gonna do is go ahead and pop off this steering wheel real quick. Does this thing have screws in the back of it?
What's that?
Steering wheel.
No. Yeah,
cover pops
it's
up,
been
it
a
does?
minute, so let's,
Right there?
hold on, let me see.
That gets the cover off.
Yes, that gets the cover off.
All right, guys, it's the next morning. We're back in the Supercar Street Racing garage. You got Brad here again. And today, the first thing I want to do is start looking at my wiring situation to see what wire I have and get that all organized. So I am gonna get this wiring out of this bin. I wanna see if I have any wire to wire these back speakers with here. I only need a couple of feet for each one. I do have to redo the wiring for the amplifier power because we don't have enough here. We were gonna put it on the ground, now it's over here. I'm gonna run wire all the way around the top here, behind the inverter here or under it, around this. So I'm gonna come from here, all the way around here, down to underneath the amp and power the amp right there. And also the ground, maybe long enough, not sure yet. I guess we'll go this way since we already have wires going that way, I guess. I'm not sure. But I do have to pull both of these out. I don't think we have nearly enough here. We made 2 power wires for some reason. We only need 1 to go to the amp. But first things first, let's go ahead and get this wiring all organized. Apologies in advance for the fan, but it is warm in here, so the fan is pushing air in from the house. Okay, let's see what we got here. All kinds of tangled up mess. All right, so now I'm gonna take the power wire for the amplifier and run that again because we don't have enough length here to go all the way around and I want the installation to be clean. So I'm gonna redo that now. All right, so that'll feed from there like that. And then I need a new power to go all the way around. Oh, I do have enough red. Okay, found my red, so we are definitely in business here. So I need to put a loop on this one. Go ahead and strip this back. About all you need right there. Go ahead and get this thing all fixed up. Good to go. And that's going to be going around and down to the amp power. So that's all of our power. Awesome. Okay, the camera did shut off. I'm just tying up the wiring here for the amp. So I've got a couple of zip ties here to get this bundle all together. Hey.
What up, dog?
I'm rewiring the amplifier. Since we moved it across the bay, there's not enough wire, so I redid all the wiring on that. And I have enough speaker wire to go ahead and do the rear speaker, so I'm gonna go ahead and do those as well and get that over with since I'm already doing the amp and all that. Okay, I did find the correct bit for this, so we're gonna go ahead and loosen up the power. All you do is spin that open, and we need to create a jumper as well for the remote turn-on wire because we are using the battery to power everything. I'm gonna leave a little bit of extra wiring here so I can move the amp around. There's gonna be empty space behind it. Now these get wired directly to the amp, so we wanna strip off maybe 1/8 of an inch here. But let's make a remote turn-on wire jumper. So we just have this little turn-on wire. We really only need to go like just a little loop. Okay, we made our jumper wire here for remote, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. It is way too long of a strip. Go ahead and tighten that down really good. And then this guy just loops around like so. These can be very tight. We don't want them coming out. That's not going anywhere. And our ground. Now we need speaker wires for the rear. These two sets that are perfect, they are exactly the same kind, and this is what I ran on my golf cart. So we have a short piece here to go to these. Now you notice on the back of this tar amps, you only see 3 connectors here. It's very weird the way this thing wires up. You have to wire the plus from one channel and the negative from the other channel into the center terminal, and that's how you get stereo. It's different for most amps, so make sure you look at that when you are installing your tar amps because it is not the same as the other ones. Now we are going to be Y adapting to the front speakers. We're going to be running 2 ohms, so we're going to go ahead and do that behind these speakers rather than right at the amp. It'll make sure that we have less clutter in the wiring, and also I'm going to go ahead and tie these up really nice before we get this installed so that we can go ahead and put the amp in. Okay, I am making jumpers for the rear speakers, and I'm going to go ahead and put the connectors on them and get those all heat shrunk. So these are going to go from each one of these wires to connectors where it will split off to the front, if I can get all the wire in the connector. From the amplifier, and it will also split off to the front, hopefully, if we can get all the wire in there. I don't know if we'll be able to. I really want to try not using electrical tape. We're gonna have to strip off much more than that though. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna get 2 wires in there. That's not gonna work. Okay guys, we're back, and sorry for the fan noise, but it gets hot in the garage, and the camera loves to overheat every 5 minutes. So we got Joe back here today. I did some work this morning. I got the amplifier wired up, just 2 of the 4 speakers so far. I got the amp power and ground extended and run to where it's gonna be. So our next step is going to be, Joe is going to pull out wiring that's gonna go from the back to the front of the cart for the front 2 speakers. So he's gonna leave enough wire to go all the way to the front, and we're gonna tie this in the back. And then I'm gonna have him also pull wire for the subwoofer. So we're gonna pull 1 wire to the back for the subwoofer, and that's gonna be bridged on channels 1 and 2. So what do you think? Are we ready to start doing this front wiring? Okay.
Yeah, and obviously one thing to know is that we're gonna be jumping off the wire that leads to the back rear speakers to feed the front speakers, because all 4 are gonna go on 2 channels right now. That's the plan.
That is the plan. We're going to run 2 ohms on 2 channels, and that should put some power out. That should be plenty of power for these 6.5-inch speakers.
Yep.
All right, let's go for it.
All right, so
where's your cable?
From here, I'm adding this wire to it, and I'm going to have you confirm. I don't want to screw that up.
Bridge is this side.
Okay, for the jumper, where's my jumper at? Are we heat shrinking or no? We don't need to, do we?
Yes, we are. These connectors are heat shrink.
The red, I have a black. Is that my positive?
Correct.
And that one will go on the red stripe on this side, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I forgot to crimp it. I had to crimp it afterwards. Positive is on the left.
You got a battery? Is that what we're going to test?
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to go ahead and test our speakers by popping it with this battery, just so we make sure, because I had kind of a bad connection on my side. My fault. Poor job. All right, my polarity is good.
On both?
I haven't checked yours yet. What we're watching for here is if the speaker goes out when you connect plus to plus. Okay, positive. Good to go.
2 eyes. Tell me what you think.
Looks good to me. It's fine. Let's run them in.
All right, that's done. Good to go. This, we can go ahead and push through.
Mm-hmm. This will come actually all the way over to the corner.
Keep pushing.
Hold it there for 1 second.
Okay.
Let me get some cleanup on this wiring real quick before we pull it all the way through.
Should we just clip the other ones off, or you?
That's what I was thinking. Maybe just clip those. That's what my wiring run's going to look like.
Might as well go ahead and put these up. Put these on.
Yep. It's too bad we can't come over to the side because we've got this plastic under here. I'll let you take a look. Tell me what you think. But okay.
Oh, and this needs to come up. We're walking on this. What is this?
All right, guys, we're back out in the garage now, and I just wanted to give you guys an update. Joe and I did finish the wiring for the amplifier side of it, and we have our speaker wires all nice and clamped up here, and we have our power wire and everything working there. All we have to do now is get all the wires up to the front, but we're having the worst time with this steering wheel. You got it? And also wanted to give you guys an update under here. So I pulled everything underneath the cart here. I got all the wires tied up nice. All we have to do is get it to the front from there, but this part came out good. You guys saw we got the rear speakers installed, but we have to go in a minute and go vote. Joe is in the process now of taking off the steering wheel after searching for days for the correct socket. He found the right one, so this wheel is going to come off here momentarily. First, we got to take off the center section, and then there is a bolt there that we'll probably use the impact gun on to get off. Things are always a pain. All right, Joe's gonna just try to yank it off of there.
Let's go. That's it.
Good job, man. Got it off. All right, guys, I left for like 15 minutes to do some work, and I came back, and Joe has the entire golf cart torn into shreds, and he has the dash off, and he also needs to be vacuumed out under the dash. So I'm gonna do that now. I've got our vacuum right here, and we have to install a bus bar up here in the front under the dash because we have several devices that we're gonna be powering. All right, we're back out here. Joe got the whole entire dash just assembled, and I'm about to clean the inside of the dash for no reason.
All right, so this should be done. I got to pull the ignition. So I have hazards, but I don't think I'm going to worry about them. I don't really care to have hazards.
I don't use those either. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and run our power up to the front of the cart for our auxiliary stuff. It doesn't have to be thick cable, so I'm just going to use this really small gauge wire to go up front. So all I'm going to be doing right here and right now is putting ends on this, connecting it to our fuse block and running it down through the bottom of the cart.
You think it's too close to be able to get something in there?
Not if we use spade. Nah, it's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Oh, you need to pull the speaker wire through. Keep pulling it all through. I gotta get it taut first, all right? Speaker wire, keep pulling that speaker wire. So we're just gonna do one wire around it.
And then I'll pull everything tight before you zip tie it. Okay, we're under the cart now, and Joe is finishing up pulling all the wires to the back. We've got our 4-set RCA cable, we've got a auxiliary power for the bus bar, and we've got our front speakers all pulled up to the front. We're getting all that finalized, and I think the next step is connecting our bus bar up front and getting our dash set up. All right, we're missing one of your 12-volt adapter things. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put terminals on these guys. All right, we're over here on the table now, and I've got the 2 USB to 12-volt adapters here. These are going to power the tablet charger and also the Bluetooth adapter. So what I'm doing right now is putting ends on these so they can get connected to the bus bar. So I already stripped them back. I've got my ends right here, and we could actually use red. They're so small. I'll switch to red, dude. These are tiny wires. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today, in an effort to make this white golf cart black, this happened. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today we are changing out this beat up white top for a black one. So I have all the tools here to do that. Let's get her done. All right, guys, welcome back. I got the new top all put in, nice and shiny black top. And I think now I will polish it up with some of the black restoring stuff if I have enough. And then I'll let you guys know how that turned out. But yeah, the black top is in. I really like it. It definitely changes the card a lot. I can't wait to get a black body put in or a matte black wrap. I'm so hyped. Got the Meguiar's Ultimate Black Restoration on this. Oh boy, I did a terrible job right there. Let's go back and get that place that I really messed up. There we go, much better. Anyway, got the Ultimate Black Restoration. Top's in good shape. It has a couple of little scuffs on it on the side, but nothing too bad, like right there. That looks like a casting error when they cast the plastic. But other than that, it looks pretty dang good, and I'm super excited about being able to, and it's got a few little pits right here. But those all look like manufacturing defects, I think. Other than that, top looks great. And now our next step will be run to the hardware store, see if we can get some black fasteners to replace those. And maybe even these handle fasteners. I don't know why they would be silver, but yeah, I think those are probably the same exact dimensions. So I'll try to get 2, 4, 6, 8 of those to replace all the silver stuff, and then we'll see what happens after that.
That smart switch peel satisfaction is real. That peel is real. That smart switch peel is so good in your life. You love it. How sweet is it?
About 9:30. 9:30 in the flywheel.
Guys, we are here in the kitchen starting on the golf cart audio project. We have everything except the front speakers, and the reason we don't have the front speakers is the speakers came in and they actually did not have grills, and so they were the wrong ones, so I sent them back and I ordered speakers with grills, so we are waiting on the front speakers before we can finish the dash install. We got the subwoofer here, we got the subwoofer box here, we got the amp and the epicenter here, we got the voltage reducer here, so this guy takes 48 volt golf cart voltage, or 48 volt any voltage, and reduces it down to 12 volts for the audio system and for anything else we need power for. Everything else is laying out here on the garage floor, and I've just been taking some measurements and doing some things, and it looks like the voltage reducer is too fat to fit inside here. The battery, it's just slightly, it could, I mean, another millimeter and it would fit right down there, but it just is too fat, and it's unbelievable that it also will not fit there, and I think it's because that's in the way. That's the charge port. So voltage reducer has to go elsewhere. It could go under the dash. Actually, there's plenty of space back there, inside there, tons of space back there, which means I would have to run a pretty hefty 48 volt line that way, and then 12 volts back to the back for the amplifier, so I don't know if I want to do that. It might make more sense to mount it back here somewhere. There is plenty of space inside this little cavity behind the golf cart. I still have to check that out, but for now we're just kind of looking around, trying to see where we're going to put everything. And we're not doing rear speakers at this time, but eventually we will pull this back seat off and do 2 more 6.5s right there in that position where those guys are. Okay, I looked at the box. I think the best place to mount the amp is on this back seat, honestly. There's plenty of space back there, plenty of room, and I'm thinking mount the amp and the epicenter there and run the wires down this like rail here and down with some tubing. Only problem is this bolt's in the way. Look. Or actually, we could come to this rail, down the back of the rail, and go under there, right there with our wires. So really you would hardly ever see anything if we make a cross here with the wires. If we cross right there with some tubing and then zip tie it and then come down to this rail and go under. I think that's the ticket. And I'm contemplating taking this back seat off so I can get these speakers out. You can't get them out because the freaking screws are underneath. Like, I tried everything. It's just not possible without cutting them out. It's so close. I don't think I could even drill a hole in that rail and get them out. And I don't know if they're any good or not.